Fuck you, Craig.
God.
Well, no, that's a tradition that Jasmine started. She started that because she used to use Craig for her D&D games, and then Andre started doing it, and then Travis was gonna do it, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it because I'm drinking. I don't give a fuck. Craig's up here. All right, that's there. Okay. All right, is everybody ready to go?
Yeah, is Mary coming in or
No, Mary is sick, so we're both a man short.
okay?
So it's a perfect little triad. Technically, it's a three-way crossover when you really think about it. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But like it's that crossover you're talking about on Twitter, so it's kind of funny. All right. Damn. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's going on, good people of the internet? It is time for OnComicsGrounds.com's flagship podcast, Panel to Panel, where a bunch of folks shoot the breeze and talk about comic books and such. We are back once again talking about all the great nerdy news and comic-related information that is going on in the interwebs and in the real world, because there's some weird shit going on in the real world. We are here talking about all that good stuff. Don't forget that you can follow this podcast on Twitter at PTP_podcast. You can follow the website On Comics Ground on Twitter and Instagram at On Comics Ground. You can check out the website On Comics Ground, which is on-comics-ground. I cannot talk this evening. I don't know my own damn script. Well, you can check out on-comics-ground.com, where you check out all of our reviews, news articles, solicitations, previews, all that great stuff at that link right there. You can always check out our Twitter, because we post all of our reviews and post there. All right. To my left. Well, no, my name is James Portis. I always forget to say my own name, and I've been listening to old episodes, and I realize I don't say my own name sometimes. It's very comical. But my name is James Portis. To my left, we had the man who was forced to go to Spirit Halloween this evening. Well, it made it just enough time for the show. We have Afro Baggins himself, Travis Tucker. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Trying on my mermaid man bra right now.
Bro, just be Cat Noir. It's so much easier.
I already bought Mermaid Man.
You literally bought a suit. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, you wasted money on it. Oh, God.
I wouldn't say it's a waste. I can run around as an old guy on Halloween and be like, evil.
Okay. And then to my right, we Manny is sick this evening, but we already had a crossover planned, so we are gonna make this crossover happen. We have our sister podcast over at the web slingers capital of the world. We have Alec this evening with us from Livin on the Edge. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Hello, I'm doing good. Am I allowed to plug my own Twitter and the LOTE Twitter?
Of course.
Okay. If y'all want to follow me on Twitter, you can go to @_the_smart_Alec. And if you want to go to the Livin on the Edge Twitter and follow it, it's at @LOTE_podcast. But I'm doing good. Finished working earlier, so I finally have money. It's been so long.
Crossover. It's like it's been so long that I haven't seen your face.
I thought you were gonna do the man behind the slaughter for a second.
I said Akon. The fuck you mean?
No, because you said it's been so long, and I was thinking, since last I've seen my son lost to this monster, to the man behind the slaughter.
Oh, okay. So we're going to go ahead and dive into some. This is going to be an old-fashioned news episode of Panel to Panel. We are going to be kicking off some awesome content in the next like 3 months, starting next week. But this week It is going to be an old-fashioned news episode. We got some interesting topics to discuss. The first one that we are going to be discussing this evening is that finally, after getting the results of who is going to be playing She-Hulk in the She-Hulk show, we are now finding out that, I hope I can pronounce this right, newcomer Iman Vellani is going to be playing Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel, in the Ms. Marvel Disney Plus TV show. And praise be to these people for not trying to be stupid and cast like almost a grown-ass adult to play a child.
Yeah.
I am so grateful. Granted, she'll be like a year older by the time the show comes out because of like COVID and like filming and shit, which is fine. But like, I'm very grateful that they've actually chosen someone of the adequate age and didn't pull a Percy Jackson, because if they did that shit, I'd have been pissed. For me, I'm hopeful now, seeing that there actually seems to be a good group of people behind this movie with this casting. I know that there was a bunch of issues on the Twitterverse, and the Neckbeards lost their shit and wanted to come after the poor girl because she apparently had what's the website called, Alec?
Letterboxd.
Yeah, Letterboxd. I don't even use Letterboxd, but like apparently she had a Letterboxd account and she gave Captain Marvel, which is Ms. Marvel's idol, 2 stars. And I'm like, who cares?
She literally said she would give her life for Brie Larson.
Like, who really cares? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. And keep in mind, I'm not the biggest Ms. Marvel fan. And I will never, not granted, I'm not going to pull the idiot gatekeeper speech of, oh, she shouldn't be here. No. I just said I'm not a fan. Mainly because I'm not the target audience for this character. I never have been. But the people who enjoy Ms. Marvel are going to love this. Now, granted, the show itself, and we'll get into the Avengers topic in a minute, but in terms of Kamala as a character, I love her. And I want her to prosper. I'm always someone that wants diversity, so I'm all aboard for this movie. I'm hyped. Well, not movie, fucking TV show. I'm hyped that she has been cast as a younger person. That way she can grow up with the character. Travis, how do you feel as someone who is a father, and maybe Cece could be looking up to this character as time goes on?
I'm pretty excited, to be honest with you, because there's not many like role models for this specific audience in the MCU. You know what I'm saying? Technically it's going to be on the show, but it's the MCU. We all know that.
Yeah.
But I think she's going to fall in love with Kamala Khan, cuz like my little girl's at the age where if I walk in a room that she's in and it's really quiet, there's a chance that I'm going to get ambushed or something. So I have a feeling that once she sees Kamala's big giant stretchy fists, she's going to be a huge fan immediately. So I'm honestly pretty stoked to have another positive female role model for her.
That's good shit. Alex, how are you feeling about this movie?
I'm very.
I'm used to movies. Like MCU doing more shows has me like, what?
Yeah. I'm very excited for this. Well, like she hasn't been in much, I don't think. She's I think you said she's a newcomer, but like I think that's really cool because it's like out of all the girls who auditioned for this, they chose her, an unknown actress, to bring Kamala to life, which I think is really cool. And I like seeing unknown actors have their careers skyrocket because of a role they get or a successful thing, like with Tom Holland or Taron Egerton in Kingsman. Also, John Boyega, because like from Attack the Block and then Star Wars and now a lot of other stuff. I'm very excited for her. I'm glad they did not cast fucking Naomi Scott of all people to play Kamala.
Why would anybody want that?
Because Hollywood is Hollywood. They are afraid. They are so scared of anything that is not Western.
I guess.
That's why we still have live action anime adaptations with anybody except Japanese people.
Shit, the nail on the head, right there.
Wait, what? You cut out for a sec.
Hit the nail on the head right there.
No.
I was saying, me and Travis can speak from experience. The anime adaptations are a little rough. But no, okay, so like from here, we're gonna move on to Regal Cinemas has announced that after the delay of the next James Bond movie, that they are going to be shutting down like every Regal Cinema.
Yeah.
I will say that I didn't see this coming, but or at least I didn't see this coming so soon. I figured that most movie theaters still had some legs under them. I know AMC's like kicking dirt right now because of their issues where they're wanting like to throw fits and not wanting to publish movies because of certain things. But at the same time, I figured Regal had a little bit more time on their hands. But so it's shocking to think that they couldn't exist a little bit longer with the revenue they had. Granted, they were already doing things like, oh, we're gonna start showing older movies for like limited time reruns, like this is the Disney Vault shit. So they were starting to do that, which was concerning. More and more, you would go into right before you would see a movie, the previews would say, "Hey, we're gonna have like The Godfather and this and that, and like, oh, Gone with the Wind, like on these days, come back and see these old movies that you can see online for like dirt cheap." Like, it's heartbreaking in a way for me though, because I don't want to see movie theaters die out. Even though like digital is the future, movie theaters are still kind of an iconic thing. Granted, no one's going to a movie theater anytime soon because of COVID, but like, I don't know. Travis, how do you feel about movie theaters?
I miss them. Like you're asking me a question, and I'm like thinking back on all the positive times of movie theaters, and I miss them. So I don't know. It sucks that this is happening, but I feel like this is kind of the next domino falling with COVID and all of that.
Yeah. Wait. Is it? Oh, it's Cineworld, like a different website labeled Cinemark as the one to go to. If Cinemark's going, that would be concerning.
I worked at Cinemark. I would know, but well, I wouldn't know because I don't work there anymore. But
you probably hear from somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Cinemark's doing fine. I haven't heard any bad things about, like, I haven't heard any big financial issues with them at least, but
they're closing all 543 locations. God damn.
I have a few in the city I live in, so I guess those will just be gone.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And I mean, like I said, like it's shocking because you wouldn't think that this would be the world we're living in because of COVID, but like especially how it hit comics pretty hard too. But to see this hit that hard, you're like, I guess we might not be going to movie theaters much longer, and everyone's gonna be forced to do video on demand here soon. Like,
I feel like, sorry, I don't mean to interject.
No, you're fine.
But like, so the thing is, movies, there are a lot, especially blockbuster movies. Blockbuster movies are made for movie theaters, especially the MCU, because the MCU, they have moments where they intentionally have a pause for, laughter or cheering or clapping. Like, I mean, Endgame is a big example of that. Like, Endgame was a movie that was made for a movie theater, with a big crowd. So it's like either Hollywood has to step up and be like, okay, we need to help support movie theaters because, they say I think something I've seen like throughout COVID has been like Hollywood being like, no, we can't let movie theaters go under. But it's like, okay, then do something. You have money, do something. But they don't. So it's like, okay, well then you're gonna have to start making your movies for these streaming services and having to go all in because you can't be wishy-washy. Like, if you don't think movie theaters can be salvaged, then you gotta pack it in and start doing double time on your Disney Pluses and your HBO Maxes and all that. But I don't think this is the end of movie theaters. Because I don't know, anything is possible, and like not every company is gonna go under. I don't think. If for nothing else, they'll just get bought out, and different companies will buy buy locations that are left over from other companies closing down. But this is definitely like a big blow, and it's why they should not have tried to open back up, because Christopher Nolan willed it. But
I really question that man's sanity sometimes.
some people said stuff like that was said about him was false, but like everything with pushing for Tenet to be released during this pandemic, I'm just like, read the room. And I mean, I know it was obviously Warner Brothers too, but yeah, no, it's it was not the right move, and I feel like they were looking at the small picture and not the big picture. They weren't thinking about the long term. They were thinking about, oh, we need money right now. It's like, okay, but you're gonna wish you stayed closed, because I don't know, but yeah, it still sucks though.
Yeah. I feel as if movie theaters are going to become not only more expensive once COVID becomes like not as prevalent. I think they're going to become very much a thing of, hey, you can go here, but more like you know how there's the like almost like I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. The movies that are about to leave theaters that are still there, but they've left the major theaters and they're just only at like the really small time theaters. I think that's gonna be a thing where you have like Avengers 5, whenever that fucking well, I don't remember 5. I think we passed Avengers 5 at this point, fucking. But like Avengers 20, whenever the fuck that happens, like when we have that, that'll be like a hit video on demand, but it's at this theater, select like how they already say select theaters, that'll be select motherfucking theaters, like where you have IMAX or nothing. It'll be like IMAX or a little theater, mom and pop shop type theater, and that's it. Like that will be the game plan, and then mostly it'll be video on demand, because Disney Plus has learned from Mulan that people will buy movies out the cut. Some places like when Scoob came out, or Trolls, they figured out that movies will come out for video on demand and still be successful. So
and Trolls was worth every penny.
I haven't seen it, but obviously you have. So like you right there, it'll be one of those situations where Disney's gonna start doing more movies that are straight video on demand. The audience is still there, and they'll definitely start like shifting Disney Plus's UI. That way it can have like a movies you bought section. Like I think there'll come a time where if you buy a movie on release, they'll give you like a discount on your next month's Disney Plus maybe. That way it'll charm you more to come like to the movie release, because they're not going to be able to survive on $30 movies every time. They're not going to be able to survive on that. So
yeah,
it'll become a thing where, say, oh, you buy Frozen 3 or some other dumb shit, like, or when they just announced Lion King 2, Simba's Prize be made the same live action way, which we'll talk about that. We'll add that to the agenda. I'm not happy about that. When that comes out, it'll be $30 here, but you'll get like a 25% discount on your next month's Disney Plus. That will be a great way to get people in the door for Lion King 2. At least I think. I don't know if y'all have any opinion on that. Like,
I think there's a lot of truth in that, because they can easily. I feel like the main problem is that they're trying to figure out how to navigate a world where they can't rely on movie theaters anymore to make money. So they just need a little bit of time to crack the code, and once the code is cracked, bye bye movie theaters. But yeah,
I wouldn't say bye-bye, but you're about right. Okay, so from there, we are going to move on to a little bit. I got to clue these boys in on. So, Wizards of the Coast is on fire. That's gonna become a running gag. I feel like the more shit goes on, because first I said DC was on fire, but now we're saying Wizards of the Coast is on fire. So, I don't know if you, Travis, you played Magic the Gathering. Obviously you don't, but in general, when it comes to Magic the Gathering, back in last year, towards the end of last year, they started doing this like very premium product called Secret Layers, where they would release alternate arts and usually foils of certain cards, certain like very popular cards. They would team up with certain artists. They would team up with cosplayers. They would team up with different things like that to give people a new platform for cards. They were usually very expensive. You could only buy them for like a week, and then they would take months to ship. It was a very start thing that happened last year. It's been going for a while. They'd have like a women's themed month. I tried to petition for a Black History Month one and a BLM one, but no one would listen to me.
All we got is a Black Planeswalker. What the fuck, Wizards?
We have several Black Planeswalkers. Hush, but I tried. I had the change.org petition. I tried, but anyway, but like. In general, we had like there was the women's one, there was the tattoo artist one, there were several Secret Layers that have come out. So, earlier this week, Wizards of the Coast and whatever I don't want to say it's Image Comics, but whatever company produces The Walking Dead have partnered together to release an exclusive Secret Layer product that has Glenn, Negan, the stupid dude with the long hair that everyone wants to be Ghost Rider. What's his damn name? It's gonna bug me.
Talking about Norman Reedus?
Yeah, Norman Reedus and Okoye from Black Panther. I don't watch Walking Dead. I refuse to.
I mean, at least give him some respect for the Boondock Saints. Come on.
I refuse to acknowledge Robert Kirkman and his fucking stupid zombie book that should have ended like 300 volumes ago, and it took forever to end. But
what about the second whistle? He was the second Whistler in Blade 2. Come on, dog.
God damn it! Like I will give Robert Kirkman praise for Invincible when I refuse to read his zombie porn. But anyway, so the product came out. There were going to be exclusive artworks cards of Norman Reedus' character, Okoye's character, Glenn, and Negan. And they were coming out. They were going to be this specific product, but here was the kicker. They weren't alternate arts. They were exclusive, full black border Magic cards that had their own abilities, own flavor text, and existed in Magic the Gathering as a whole that could be used in any Legacy format, like Legacy, Modern, Commander, didn't matter. So these were going to be cards that would only be able to be bought for 1 week, are probably going to be sold for a high premium, like over $100 price, and are only available for that week. And they're able to be used in those formats. People were pissed. People were fucking pissed. And understandably why, because you are literally trying to control the market and say that unless you have the ability to be a whale and buy this premium Walking Dead product, then you're just shit out of luck. You have no way to... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, when did Magic become pay to win? What's up with that?
Literally, like, it's been pay to win for years, but, like, in general, like, in terms of this, they're literally saying this is a problem. Like this is the thing that they're going to continue doing. Especially when they pitched Secret Lair, they said it was only going to be alternate arts. It was never going to be brand new cards. So people are like ready to sue Wizards of the Coast, like you're lying to your fans. And they also said they would never release exclusive cards in a buy a box format that couldn't be bought for everybody. And now you're having like the rules committee for Commander choosing not to ban the cards, and Commander players are pissed because they want the cards banned because it's not fair that some people can have the cards and some people can't because the buying system for Secret Lairs is trash. And it's going around basically that like now people are joking about creating their own formats, their own fan community formats that have nothing to do with Wizards of the Coast. because of the fact that they can't trust Wizards anymore. Granted, Wizards of the Coast has been on fire for years between like sexual harassment allegations and racism allegations, but this just adds to the fire of they really only care about money, and everyone's looking at them side-eyed like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? So that's the drama on the block right there, Travis. How you feel about that?
Pretty upset because like I get what you're saying when you say Magic was kind of always pay to win, because there's always that in every circuit of Magic I've ever been in. There's always that one guy that's like, I've been playing since beta, and then he has like a million broken cards, and it's no fun to play against him, so they end up not playing against anybody. This kind of makes that worse, in my opinion. Like, I don't understand why would they make like alternate arts is one thing, but like their own rules, that is so over the line. Like imagine playing like, I don't know, Fortnite for example, and you paid $20 so you can have a gold scar every round. Is that fair? No, hell no. Especially if it's going to be a limited edition release thing, you know what I mean? It's one thing to have promos and alt arts and signed autograph from the artist cards, but to release completely new rules is so bold that it's so clear that they're here to just squeeze every dime out of the fandom.
There was the thing that happened recently, like right the day after it was announced. One of the most popular YouTubers, the professor of Tulare Community College, he put out a video where he said, "Yo, back in February, March, April, when COVID first hit, y'all released Ikoria Land of Behemoths that was all about like kaiju themes and shit. So you released Godzilla King of Monsters themed alternate arts of certain cards where you had Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Mecha Godzilla, Space Godzilla, all them bitches. You had all these cards that were alternate arts of existing cards that were being released with that set. Like, you could have Baby Godzilla, but you had another card that was also the same flavor, text, and rules. Why didn't you do that?" And everyone's looking at him like, yeah, he's right. And then one of the heads of R&D, Mark Rosewater, put out a Tumblr post where he's like, well, you never know, we could do that in the future. And you're like, you're a bold-faced motherfucker for doing that. You did that on purpose. That way nobody could come to you and complain. Nobody could come to you and get mad at you. And that was a backwards thing that you're saying after the fact. That was never part of your goal from the jump. You want to control the market in the worst way possible. And that's a problem. So, Alec, how do you feel about all this drama since you've never played before?
What y'all said. I am sorry. I do not. None of this I understand, but it does sound like companies are fucking up again, as they always do. So, screw them. Like y'all said,
like I wouldn't say screw them, and like keep in mind, and I totally agree with the professor and other YouTubers who have said, yo, don't attack the people at Wizards of the Coast, don't attack people that work for Magic Gathering, don't do it. It's not worth it. Like, and we'll get into this when we get into the Spider-Man talk, and me and Al are gonna have a field day about that shit. But in general, you need to complain in the right way, by not paying with your wallet, and also sending the correct comment forms. Yes, they might not hear you correctly, but you attacking them is some bullshit. You issuing death threats is bullshit. That's not okay. So, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next topic. So, last month, Avengers, the game, Marvel's Avengers, not really a word for it, came out for Xbox, PS4, and PC. We received a review copy from Square Enix. I bought the game. Alec used the review copy, and we busted this shit out. I wanted to bring Alec onto the show, that way we could talk about it. And I feel as if and also Travis has I've seen a lot of the gameplay, so he will be able to give his discussion. Have you played it?
I played the first mission. That was actually my introduction to Kamala Khan.
Dope. Okay, so you played the first mission. So we have a little bit going on here. So, Alec and I are apparently at odds here. Alec, you wrote the review. You played it. I want to know how you feel about the game before I go in.
Well, I wouldn't say at odds, because every criticism you have, I can agree with to some extent.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed the game. A lot of people have talked about how the gameplay is just button mashing a lot and combos that don't really make sense. I still my main was Kamala, actually, because it was fun to like do the sprint jump where her legs extend and swinging off of pipes and pulling up on ledges, like, because it also made me just think about like, oh, this is what Spider-Man's gonna be like, kinda. So I'm like excited. I'm kind of excited. I am actually excited to see where they take Spider-Man in the game. Like I'm curious to see like what direction they take him, because it is gonna be Peter Parker, they said.
Yeah.
But I really like the story. I think the story was very, very good, even though like it did have some shades of Endgame, and it was very, as Brian said, on, I think he said it's either me or on Twitter. Yeah, he said it on Twitter. It's very clearly written during it was very clearly written during the period where Marvel was pushing the Inhumans as the New Mutants, because this game was revealed in 2017, and that was when Ike Perlmutter was having his day in the sun filming Inhumans, and we know how that worked out for him. But I will say I actually liked what they did with the Inhumans in the game. I don't know a lot about the Inhumans, but I can say I'm pretty sure this is not really what they are in the comics. Y'all can probably say that a lot better than I, but I really like the campaign. I really like these iterations of the characters. I like that they didn't now like there was some clear similarities to the MCU, but but they didn't ever go all in. Like Bruce Banner has his look from Avengers 1 pretty much, like the blue button-down shirt, but like Troy Baker I think played him very well, and his character was a lot more neurotic and not comfortable in his own skin and just guilt-ridden. And I gotta talk about Kamala. Like, it's very rare when this happens, but after I played this game, I'm like, I want to read the first volume of Miss Marvel like right now. And like, if you do that for me, then like you've done a great job in terms of storytelling, because I really liked her. I thought Sandra Saad did a very good job voicing her. I liked all the main cast, even though like Natasha and Thor were just kind of like there. They just came in at the end, and like I liked Cap actually, even though he wasn't in it much. I thought he was like a really good iteration of Cap. I love that you can wall run as him, because I love Respawn games, so I am glad they brought that in. The combat, it's like I hate the RPG elements of the game. I like whenever there's like a third person action adventure game and it has RPG elements, I'm like, you're trying to be something you're not. Please, it like the one time it worked for me was when I played Horizon Zero Dawn, because it was a game where it's like you had an open world, you had to collect resources, you had to craft stuff. God of War, the RPG elements did not work at all. They were just there for the sake of being there. Avengers, it goes way too far into it. With all the gear you collect, all the artifacts you collect, all the currencies you get to upgrade the gear, it's like, just give me a skill tree and different attributes to upgrade instead of interchangeable things to make me quote unquote better when I can't really tell if it's making me better or not. But
What's hilarious is like we're totally reversed, where I other than like one thing, which is Kamala, I'm totally backwards with you, and I actually like the RPG elements. This is gonna be a fun topic. I'm gonna let you finish. Like, this is gonna be fun.
I am very excited that I like that. Now, of course, the microtransaction stuff is bullshit. Microtransactions in general are stupid. There's no good reason that to get one skin I should have to pay $20. Like that's so goddamn ridiculous. But
That's outlandish to say the least.
Yeah.
I mean, but Travis, you and I both know we dropped $20 to get Blade on Fortnite, so we can't talk.
I didn't drop nothing. I dropped 10.
You betrayed me?
Nah, I'm trying to get Wolverine for $10.
I got Blade. I ain't worried about shit. I got Blade.
But I'm happy that all the stuff that's going to be character and story based in terms of DLC is going to be free.
Agreed.
Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure they said that whenever a new character will be added, there will be new story missions, because I feel like there would have to be. Yeah. Also, I had no clue who Monica Rappaccini was before I played this game. And I also, I like that MODOK was the main villain, and I liked him. It makes me wonder why, like, they didn't just have Guy Pearce be MODOK in Iron Man 3.
Exactly.
Because, like, you had AIM. He was the leader of AIM.
The Mandarin.
No, we have to make the white guy the Mandarin. And then 10 years later, be like, no, don't worry. We have the real Mandarin in Shang-Chi coming out whenever COVID ends.
Okay, so here's where we're going to flip the script. So, the microtransactions, microtransactions, yes, are horrible. The RPG elements, Alec, I need you to put your nerd cap back on and go play Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. Because RPG elements have been in Marvel games since before.
I mean, even further back, X-Men Legends.
Yes. So I will tell you to go back and play your history, dog, because RPG elements have been in these games from the jump. Like, there wasn't even skill trees back then. It was put your gear here, play the game, keep it going. That's what I'm gonna say on that one. How dare you disrespect the amazing couple that is Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey? You need to go back and pay your respects, because they are amazing as Thor and Natasha, though I will agree that they were kind of just thrusted out of the story mode for no reason. But how dare you disrespect them?
I meant no disrespect.
I mean, deep voice Hemsworth.
I give all the respect to Laura Bailey.
Yeah, no, like, literally, actually, here's my controversial opinion. I think Travis Willingham is a better Thor than fucking Hemsworth.
Even though he totally was Hemsworth's personality?
No, because if you play older Marvel content and like older or stuff like that, like Willingham's been here kicking good Thor shit like about the same time Hemsworth started, even if not beforehand, because he was in Superhero Squad. So I will say that Willingham deserves his respect when it comes to playing Thor. Troy Baker and Nolan North sound nothing like the characters they're playing. That is just facts. Troy Baker sounds like he's being depressed Booker DeWitt, and Nolan North sounds like he's playing Rich Deadpool. They don't sound like their characters, and it's really annoying and freaking immersion breaking. Like, that's my biggest beef with this entire game. It breaks the immersion. Like that. Like it feels like they were handed a check and were told to play the characters they know how to play. And it's very flat out immersion breaking, because Willingham and Bailey, they know what they're doing. They've played these characters. They played the Natasha and Thor so many times. They know what the hell they're doing. The new guy, Jeff Shin, him playing Captain America was beautiful, freaking beautiful. I didn't have to hear Roger Craig Smith play Captain America for the 1,000th time. It was just beautiful. Like, I loved his interpretation of sounding like Captain America and how passionate he was. That was the best shit there. And also, I agree with Alec that Sandra Sod was amazing as Kamala Khan. She was the best part of this fucking game. And I hate that because you would think in a game called Avengers, the entire Avengers would be amazing. But hearing Deadpool and Booker DeWitt be more depressed than the freaking girl, like the little child in the room, is very frustrating. When I've already seen Robert Downey Jr. and other iterations of the characters do it for the 1,000th time. And yes, it's very obvious that, like Alex said, this was written during the time of Infinity War and Endgame because of how, like, dire it sounds. Oh, the Avengers are separated, we're all depressed, yada yada. Like, it's just, like, I don't need this.
Captain America is dead.
Even though we all know he's not dead. Like, anybody who thought Captain America was dead, you're freaking stupid.
All the
like,
people on Twitter who were like, they killed Captain America to make way for no, you're an idiot.
Yeah, no, you are freaking idiots.
This is a typical Captain America move. This is this is Ron's line, but you don't read comics.
and this is Ron's line. Well, Ron will be back in January for Milestone, so that'll be the thing. But no, like, that's his line. But like, it's so frustrating. And yes, I will say MODOK was a great villain. I like them changing it to like, oh, he's more inhuman based. That was a cool way to do it instead of just being the same science shit. You know, he was the villain from the first minute Kamala walks into him in Troy Baker. I'm not calling him Bruce Banner. He's not fucking Bruce Banner. Like, the minute he walks into Troy Baker and he's like, Bruce, we need to look at the thingamajigger. Like,
also when Tony interrupts the squeamish nervous scientist giving a speech by entering and stealing the thunder, it's like, I've seen Iron Man 3. I know how this is gonna go. I've seen Iron Man 3 and Iron Man 2.
And 1 even.
Like, yeah, like, we know this ride. We know how this is gonna go. Like, it's by the book. And there, like, and I will say the best part of this entire game is the first, like, not even the first mission with Kamala. The moment, like, in the flashback when she's a child and she's at the Avengers Day thing, and there's that moment with Thor and the moment with Captain America. Those are the two best moments of this entire game, and it never has a better high point for me. Because
people on Twitter hated on the part where she recited the "if the whole world tells you to move" thing to the dumb white kid who was trying to be like, "You're not a real fan." Like, people were complaining about them. Like, that's Kamala. Like, as far as I know, that is what Kamala would do.
Not only that, if she wouldn't have done it, Steve would have done it. Like,
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Alec, go ahead. I didn't mean to
oh no, I was done.
Okay, but like, it's just like this game never has another high point for me besides those two moments. Because like you enjoy like, actually no, I'll take that back. The moment where Bruce tries to as Hulk grab Steve's shield and guard it from Kamala. That is those three moments. Those are the only moments I enjoyed, and I played the entire game because after Tony shows up, I was bored. I was fucking bored because it just sounded like Deadpool talking, and I was like, "Please, God, shut up! Please, let the girl talk. I don't care anymore. Please, just shut up." Like, I couldn't take it anymore. It was so frustrating. Like, I will say now, in terms of combat, similar to what I said with the RPG elements, it feels like third-person Marvel Ultimate Alliance to me. It feels like the same damn thing. So it was the same beat 'em up style that I enjoyed, so I didn't really care. It felt very much like it was trying to be Square Enix's Destiny in a way, where you have just waves upon waves upon waves of ads or adversaries to just clear. But it was fun. It was a fun gameplay ride, but the story was just stupid. That's what I like. That's where I'm at the end of the day. And it definitely feels like this could have been any other superhero game. I had more fun with Spider-Man. I will say that.
Well, I mean, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, like but this game, and also making it mission based was probably the dumbest thing you could have did, because you're trying too hard to make it be like the next multiplayer game of the century, rather than making it an experience. Like, you could have just took the Lego Avengers formula and wrote it to hell and back, and just said, "Yo, here's San Francisco, here's New York, whatever the fuck. You can change out your character when you want. You'll have your specific story missions, and after that, you can access the whole damn joint." And I would have been fine. But they didn't do that, and it was stupid. Like, making it mission based was just like, you. And then when you save Tony or Nolan North, you save Nolan North from being depressed. Once Nolan North's done being depressed, and it just becomes, oh, padded multiplayer missions here, padded multiplayer missions here. I was like, I don't even care anymore. It was just dumb. Like, Hulkbuster smash, and win. That's all it was. Like, it was just, who cares? So I will say that this game gets a 6 solely because Kamala's good. The gameplay was repetitive but easy, and it was the same combat I'm used to from Marvel games. And I like Willingham and Bailey. That's why you get a 6. Otherwise, I wasn't enjoying it. Alec, what I forget what your rating was. Didn't you give it like an 8 or 9?
I gave it I tried to give it an 8, I think. Like, the rating system on the site will sometimes aggregate numbers that I don't mean for it to aggregate. So
yeah.
But I intend for it to be around because I really like the story. I had fun with the gameplay. I'm excited for the story-based content and the new characters. I'm really excited to see what they do with Spider-Man, because I know a lot of people are sick of Teenage Spider-Man, but I kind of want this version to be a Teenage Peter Parker, because we already have an adult Peter Parker with PS4, and I think it would be a good dichotomy if Kamala was the teenager who was all Avengers fan, and Peter was the one who was kind of I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to, solely because they already put the Avengers Tower in Spider-Man PS4, and also because I think people don't like the idea of Peter and Kamala being the same age, especially with Miles and Kamala being on the champions together. I think that would just step over a line that would piss people off.
Well, when does that stop this game from doing anything people wouldn't like?
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I'm sick of Teenage Peter Parker. I'm tired of it. That's my opinion.
I'm good with a Teenage Peter Parker if it's different from MCU Peter Parker. That's my ultimatum, because I don't know. I like adult Peter Parker, and he should not be regressed to a teenager. But I don't know. I miss Ultimate Peter Parker, so that's kind of why I'm that's why I'm I want to see something like that. I mean, he didn't hate the Avengers, but or Ultimates as they were called, which is,
he wasn't overwhelmed by them.
Yeah, but I like to see a one where he's also voice clips leaked online about people other people in the game saying, "Hi Peter, hi Spider-Man." And I heard them, and I'm like, okay, so they're calling him Peter and Spider-Man, so everybody knows who he is on the helicarrier and in the anthill. So I'm just wondering what they're gonna do with him. I'm just very excited because oh god, I hope not. But Brian and I talked about this. Civil War is the worst thing to happen to Marvel in the past over 10 years. But
it was literally cool cameos, and that's it.
Everybody was out of character.
I was referring to comic Civil War, not movie Civil War.
Oh no, I was too.
Okay, I thought.
I liked comic Civil War.
I have my beef with Civil War, but Civil War we might have to revisit this. This might be another crossover episode.
Everyone's out of character. Everybody makes decisions that make no sense, and it caused one more day to happen.
Okay, but one more day is okay. We'll come back. That might be a January thing. But so We'll stay in the realm of Spider-Man, since Spider-Man is Alex Forte, and there's a bunch of Spider-Man news. So
Oh,
before we get into the game nonsense, so apparently someone found out that Jamie Foxx is returning for Spider-Man 3,
yes, he is.
and I'm how do I say this?
Upset.
Jamie, I need you to hang up the phone from Marvel. I need you to hang up the phone from Todd McFarlane and just put superhero movies behind you, because this ain't for you, baby. This ain't for you, sir.
No, Power was the shit.
Power was the shit, and that was because it was an indie product and that was good. But like Jamie Foxx needs to just put superhero movies down because he hasn't had the best chop with it. He needs to go do like be Black Tom Cruise in like the next Mission Impossible. I don't care. Just go do something else because your Electro was stupid, and I don't want you playing Spawn. And also, you're still waiting for a Todd McFarlane script, especially when Todd McFarlane said that the Spawn movie won't even focus on Spawn. Why would you want that role? Why would you want that? So I look at the idea that Jamie Foxx is going to reappear as Electro in a movie series he hasn't even been in yet, and because he was only Electro in the Amazing movies, not in the Tom Holland verse. So either you're gonna pull a Spider-Man by Ryan Michael Bendis and have two Electros from two different universes, or y'all just saying fuck it and throwing all the toys in the air and don't care anymore, and just gonna do Spider-Verse and just don't and whatever. And my answer to that is don't. Please God, don't. No one liked Discount Steve Urkel turning into fucking Electro via Electric Eels. No one liked it. Just put it away. Make a new one. Like, I will go to the store and buy you a new Electro suit. I don't care. Just like, don't do it. That's how I feel about that. Travis, how do you feel about Jamie Foxx coming back?
See, I'm kind of a mixed bag because like I liked him post transformation. I absolutely hated him before transformation. Oh, I hated that so much. Oh my god.
Weird little like oil slicked hair and his buck teeth.
Right, and his whoever gave him that shitty wig like probably worked for Tyler Perry at one point. Because oh god, that wig was so bad. And then just for it, how I don't know how he became the villain in Garfield Spider-Man. I was like,
happy birthday.
Right? Spider-Man all over the walls, like, hey, you're my best friend, right? Your best feels like a selfie. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I'm like, this ain't Electro. This is not him. What happened to the, smart ass douchebag that Electro is? This ain't that. I was pretty upset about that. I'm not gonna lie.
But like, how do you feel about him randomly coming back into the MCU with no reference?
Scared. Like, don't get me wrong. I love his acting. He's a great actor. But huge emphasis on but. If they don't give him the Michael Keaton Vulture type of treatment, I don't think he's going to be worth anyone's time.
Right. Okay, fair enough. Like, you're our residential Spider-Man, pun intended. How do you feel about the idea of Jamie Foxx coming back? Granted, like you're the one person that seems to actually appreciate the Amazing movies here. So how do you feel about?
Well, that's a strong word.
Hey, you were the one on Twitter all excited about the Amazing suit being put in the game. So
the first movie, the second movie is a different ball game.
You like that hand though, right? You like that hand, the web hand.
It's look. That moment is beautiful. I don't care what anybody. Rest of the movie can go to hell. That scene is beautiful, and it made me cry. I don't care what anybody says. But okay, so But, I got a lot to say about this.
Oh,
I remember on Thursday looking at my phone and I just screamed because first of all, I am in this for the chaos and the chaos alone. I I cannot wait to see how fucking insane this gets. But first of all, just let me talk about TASM 2 Electro for a sec. Uh I was saying this before we started recording. How he was marketed does not connect to how he was in the movie, because the marketing was like, oh, it's the rise of this loner guy finding his true calling as the supervillain Electro. And then the movie's just like, oh, hey, here's this weirdo who's obsessed with Spider-Man. We can't relate to him because he's literally just clearly psychotic, even though people are mean to him. Okay, now he's a totally different person when he becomes Electro. And like also just like the first act, we're made to believe that he and Spider-Man are gonna have this, kind of intrinsic connection because Max is obsessed with him, and Peter, like at the beginning of the Times Square scene, is trying to help him. And then after that, Peter just does not give a single flying shit about him because the plot is like, no, go make this chartboard in your room to a Philip Phillips song. He he's like, it's like, no, you gotta go find out the spiders in Roosevelt Station, and like Electro becomes nothing to the plot after that move, after the Times Square scene. He is nothing except muscle for Harry, and even in the final battle, Peter does not remember, oh right, this guy really liked me and he needed help. Maybe I should try to help him. No, I'm gonna taunt him and then I'm going to murder him. I redirect the electricity back to him and I blow him up, and I'm just like, hey Gwen, we can make your flight. And then Gwen dies and smacks her head against the pavement. Oh. But so like I will say, I like the Electro theme minus the lyrics. The lyrics are stupid, and if in the MCU, if they bring that theme back minus the lyrics, I will be happy. And if they give him the suit with the starfish mask, I will never complain about anything Sony does again. That's probably a lie, but here's why I'm actually kind of interested and excited, like for real. Because Jamie Foxx posted on Instagram about how he basically confirming that he was coming back. And he said he will not be blue, which that automatically makes you believe that this is going to be a new Electro. This is going to be a new one, and it seems to be a J.K. Simmons situation. Also, let me remind y'all, Feige actually liked Electro from TASM 2, but he did say, like, you gotta cut out the weird stuff because it makes it hard for us to relate to him. So I feel like that's why Feige was like, okay, let's give him a rebuttal because we like Jamie Foxx. But I don't know. They were rumors earlier today, and these are just rumors. I don't know if they hold any water. They probably do not, because scoopers have been wrong before, and they will be wrong until the end of time. But some scoopers are saying now that there's whispers of Kirsten Dunst and Dane DeHaan returning for future MCU projects. Might be Spider-Man 3 or might be something else, which makes me think, this is what I'm thinking, because Jamie Foxx also posted fan art of like Toby, Andrew, and Tom with Electro in the sky. And I think what's going to happen is that Spider-Man 3 is still going to be its own thing. Like, there's no reason to freak out. If it, obviously I could be wrong, because I mean, this would first time Sony fucks up a movie with studio interference. But because Feige is there to counterbalance that, I feel like it won't be that bad. But I feel like this Spider-Man 3 is still going to happen. It's going to be its own thing. Peter's going to go through his fugitive thing and then get his name cleared, and people won't think he's Spider-Man anymore. But then the next Spider-Man movie will be a live-action Spider-Man / Spider-Verse movie where Toby, Andrew, and Tom team up together, maybe with some returning villains. You have no idea how happy I would be if we see Willem Dafoe again. If we get Willem Dafoe in that cheesy-ass Halloween costume with the Party City mask, I will literally bounce up and down on my seat with glee. Because, like, I can easily see the reason why they have J.K. Simmons back and why they have Jamie Foxx back, is to be like, these are different versions of these characters from other movies, just played by the same actors. And some people didn't think about J.K. Simmons because, like, oh, of course, J.K. Simmons is perfect for J. Jonah Jameson. They're literally like the same. So you can see. So like that's why people didn't really think about that. But with Jamie Foxx now coming back as Electro, I think they're setting up multiverse stuff so that these actors can play different versions of the characters when that thing happens. I do not think that will be in Spider-Man 3. I think the post-credit scene of it will set up whatever that will be. And maybe
I disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree. I think with everything that's happened with COVID, with the fact that Holland's getting older, with the fact that Zendaya is getting older, with the fact that everybody's starting to move on from the MCU and starting to be interested in other things, I think for Spider-Man 3, and the fact that he blew Peter's secret right as he got the girl, I think they're just gonna swing back for the fences and pull everybody back in. They've already opened the door for multiverse shit with WandaVision now, and with the Multiverse of Madness coming up with Doctor Strange. I think they're just gonna pull the trigger, give Holland one good send off, and give everybody their comeuppance, put them back in the suits, and be done with it. Because that way, the future can be Miles or whatever the fuck they want to do, and like Sony can take their rights back and shut up. I think they're going to be slick about it. They're going to do one giant round of hi, how you doing? Here's everybody. Toby, the whole shebang, yada yada, and just be done with it.
I don't know if it's my connection, but it sounds like your mic is doing that thing again.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird. I think that, like, just in general, that they're going to do one giant backswing to bring everybody back. Just basically, like, they're just going to make the live-action Spider-Verse happen ASAP. That way, it just exists.
See, I would agree, but here's a few things. Feige did say that Spider-Man 3 is going to be a Peter Parker story. Now, that could hold some weight with, like, being live-action Spider-Verse, but also their new deal that they struck that last year, it's not just for Spider-Man, it's for, like, their content and stuff. Like, part of their deal was that some stuff from Disney would be on Sony stuff, some stuff from Sony would be on Disney stuff. Like, apparently now even, like, from a leaked Disney Plus ad, Spider-Man Far From Home might be coming to it, and I think that's because of that deal that they struck. Also, Tom Holland's still set to appear in at least one more MCU movie separate from his own. So, and also let us not forget, Morbius is like, okay, these movies are in the MCU now.
I forgot.
Like, hey, I feel like you're upset because it's Leto.
No, that is valid. That is in general. I mean, Leto is a creep, so I mean, that's
a creep. But like, why do we need a Morbius the Living Vampire movie?
Because
you know what? I need a movie with maybe Morbius co-starring, but not a Morbius movie.
You don't understand. We need 12-foot Jared Leto to fight Matt Smith with full body tattoos. It's genius.
Do you know how unappealing that sounds?
Apparently that leak was fake, but no, because of Morbius and the deal and the specifics of the deal they struck, and with Feige saying what he said about Spider-Man 3, I think Sony's in it for the long haul. They just had to be like, okay, we need to get the only way for us to survive is we have to shove our way up the MCU's ass so we can at least suffice as glorified fanfics of the MCU. Like that's probably their terms. That was probably their ultimatum for the deal. It's like, okay, if you want Spider-Man, you need to let us too, and do whatever we want. So, also, by the way, with this whole thing, Kevin Feige has no excuse now to not bring back Charlie Cox's Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin and like everybody else. He has no excuse. Iron Fist, you can keep. You can leave that be. But Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, you have no, except for Rosario Dawson, leave her be too. Like he has no excuse now. There's no excuse. So
that's an giant discussion. Now we're going to have another giant discussion be our final topic of the evening. So, how do I even intro this? Fucking who publishes this fucking game?
what?
Who publishes this fucking game?
Insomniac?
Insomniac's on fire. Okay, there we go. Insomniac's on fire because earlier this week, Insomniac Games, as part of the announcements for PS5, announced that they're going to be re-overhauling the graphical engines for the Spider-Man side game and the Spider-Man Ultimate Edition remaster PS5 edition that's coming out. So, before I get into that nonsense, the reason why I will be referring to the Spider-Man Miles Morales game as Spider-Man side game is because that's what it is. And it's disgusting. And I hate it. Not that Miles Morales Spider-Man. No, I want that more than life itself. I want Peter Parker to go to the darkest corner of the galaxy and never come back. I want a Miles Morales game. My problem is that this is not Spider-Man 2. This is Spider-Man, Miles Morales. And it's really frustrating. And no one seems to be listening to me. That the creators can blow smoke up your ass, and the graphics can look as smooth and crisp as fuck, and his waves can look as beautiful as y'all want them to look. But it's still gonna be a side game with like 7 hours of content stapled to a PS4 remaster. So
I'm gonna hit you with a hot take real quick. Why the fuck didn't they give me a remastered Jack and Daxter?
I mean, of course, we need more Jack and Daxter in our fucking life.
You don't understand. Any Sony title that is not hyper-realistic movie quality is garbage, except for Ratchet and Clank. They can stay for some reason.
But no, like that's where we're gonna start that conversation. But the reason why, if you see me calling Spider-Man Miles Morales the Spider-Man side game, that's what the fuck it is. You can't really like no one can give me solid evidence. The game is longer than 50. Wait, hold on. Let me. How long to beat Spider-Man PS4? Let me put the benchmark up on the table for you real quick. If Spider-Man PS4 is, I don't know, if Spider-Man Miles Morales is not longer than 16 and a half hours, or if it does not meet 16 and a half hours average, then it is a Spider-Man side game. If it does not go higher, then at least, I'll be generous. If it does not go higher than 13 hours, which is the average for most single-player games, it's a side game. It is a motherfucking side game that they are shoving out to shut black folks like me and Travis up, and they're trying to give you a PS5 launch title. And that's fact. There's no way you can refute it. Until they show me that Spider-Man Miles Morales is longer than 13 hours, it is a side game. Alec, would you like to refute my claims? Because I'm pretty strong on this argument. I want to see what you got.
No. God, no, I got nothing to back that up. everything you said is valid. Like I am the complexion of a bottle of mayo. I have water here.
like everybody, like I keep looking on like Black Nerd Facebook groups and on Twitter and shit, and everyone just keeps like swallowing swallowing the Kool-Aid. Like, yeah, we finally got a Miles Morales game. Everything's good. Look at his waves. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, motherfucker, y'all are just drinking the fucking Kool-Aid. This is to shut you up. That way you don't ask for more. When Spider-Man 2 comes out and Peter Parker is the lead again, and Miles is riding shotgun. That's what this is. That's like why don't people don't seem to understand me when I say that. Like I've had to explain that multiple times because like I remember people like some of our own writers were like, oh no, what if it's like Uncharted and Uncharted has like oh it's like how their side game was like almost another full installment. That doesn't make it okay.
Yeah. I mean, like. Even Jack and Daxter 3 was like that. Like it could have Jack and Daxter 3 easily could have been an expansion. So like they've been doing this for a good while.
Yeah. So, but no, in terms of let's get back to the meat and potatoes of the argument. So
wait, can I say something though?
Go for it.
The gameplay looks good. I'm excited.
The game looks great.
I'm excited to play it, even though I agree with everything they said, because they hold more weight in this than I ever will. So. I just wanted to say,
good ally, Alex. Thank you.
I try.
You are a great ally, and I appreciate you. But no, and I will say the gameplay looks great. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna try to get a review code for it because I don't want to buy it. But like in general, it looks fun. But I know it's gonna be some bullshit. It's gonna shut black people up when Spider-Man 2 comes out in like a year. But whatever. I'm gonna quit bitching. Actually, I'm gonna keep bitching because we got more to talk about. But the meat and potatoes of the argument is they released comparison videos of what Spider-Man Remastered, which is going to be coming alongside the Spider-Man side game, and people were very upset because they totally re-overhauled Peter Parker's model. It doesn't look anything like it did before. It looks like basically like Tom Holland, or in Alex now viral tweet, Tom Holland.
Tom Netherlands.
Like this man had like thousands of likes and retweets. I was dying of laughter. But like this man looks just like a video game version of Tom Holland now, and people were very upset. And the graphics look like as best they can be with some 4K ray tracing. Like it looked good. I was like, who cares? But people were so upset. They were sending like Insomniac death threats. They were like flipping their lids. They're like, "You did this to me!" And like the worst. Oh no, Travis. The worst comment I saw. Someone said that like them changing Peter's face was like them replacing Chadwick.
What?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
And then here's the funny part. The person who said it retracted it and deleted the tweet and then like tried to apologize. I'm like, no. You getting a shout out this Saturday because I need to bitch about you. Like that tweet is the reason why Alec got called in because I was livid. Because usually we don't talk about Spider-Man shit that much on panel to panel. But that's Alec's territory. I don't want to bark up his tree. But like I was like, no. You come here now because I'm pissed. Like, this shit had me livid.
How are you going to compare a digital re-rendering to recasting someone who passed away? That is so. Oh God, I'm pretty mad about that. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me break down Spider-Man Twitter for y'all.
Go for it. Let's go.
It's full of a bunch of white nerds who use Peter Parker as their self-insert character and get mad whenever he is not angsty. And it's the reason why people have Ditko Gang in their names now, because Steve Ditko, God bless him, he Spider-Man would not be what he is without him, but he wanted to turn Peter Parker into his own angsty self-insert character. As Brian,
is that really why I've been seeing that?
Yes, Brian and I talked about it when we were recording something recently, and like literally Peter, like even in the comics, Peter was like, yeah, when I was, out of high school and getting into college, I read Ayn Rand and looked down on everybody, and God, I was such a dick. And some people are like, that is good. That's Peter Parker.
Oh God.
And for some reason they see Insomniac Peter as that, even though he isn't. And like they're obsessed with the face model of John Bubniak, which, by the way, this is no disrespect to John Bubniak for being the face model for the PS4 version. I actually like that face model, and I thought it was a good one for Peter. But it's literally just a situation of the face bones are not aligning with Yuri Lowenthal, so they needed a new one so they can do better graphics for PS5. And so they chose this guy. And yes, it does look a tiny bit like Tom Holland. And that's why I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony had a hand in picking that. But like, people have sent death threats to Brian Intihar and other people working on Insomniac. People have spammed Ben Jordan, the new guy who's the face model for Peter. They've spammed his Instagram saying that you're not my Spider-Man, no disrespect or anything, but you leave and let John Bubniak. People forget that Yuri Lowenthal is the actual actor and that John Bubniak was literally just a mask he wore. Like,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm just like, my biggest. I remember, like, I think you posted, like, someone from a podcast, like was said this, and like, it's gonna lead into my thoughts, because I tweeted about this shit. It's a fucking video game.
It's a.
My God, like,
Don't tell him that.
Like, we went through this shit when Last of Us came out, where motherfuckers were attacking Laura Bailey over a fucking character. Like, this is a fucking video game. And then
Brian showed me this clip. I forgot where it's from. It's from some podcast, but it's his favorite clip, and now it's my favorite clip. It's of this guy being like, I want to take you by the shoulder, hypothetical person, shake you a little and say, it's fucking video games, bro. It doesn't matter. It's not important.
Right. Like, and the thing is, and this goes into what I tweeted, I have seen Peter Benjamin Parker, the most mayonnaise nerdy white boy you have ever seen in your motherfucking life, go from being as buff as Captain America in the 90s cartoon, being fucking Japanese in the original, like, Spider-Man Sentai show that Sam Lee and the people who ended up creating Kamen Rider made with the fucking Megazord. I've seen Peter Parker be as skinny as as hell, like skinnier than Tom Holland in the MTV TV show. I've seen him be like super like nerdy in Spectacular. I've seen him be like Drake Bell in Ultimate Spider-Man, because that's pretty much what all the fuck he was. Like, I've seen like him look horribly animated in the new show with that creepy, weird-looking Green Goblin. I've seen every iteration possible of Spider-Man. Who cares? Like I feel like Peter Griffin in that one like classroom where he's like, oh my God, who the fuck cares? Like, I don't understand why you need this one white boy to look different from the other white boy. Who cares?
I've seen so many people on Twitter, and I'm not gonna name names, but like some people acting like John Bubniak's face polygons not existing anymore is the same, is like so tragic, and they can't look at the game the same, and it's like it's polygons in a computer.
Fucking game.
Like it is still Yuri Lowenthal. He is the one who is like John Bubniak and Ben Jordan. All they are doing is putting some dots on their faces, having a scan, and then be like, okay, thank you.
Am I gonna break your heart by telling you that Yuri Lowenthal has voiced Spider-Man in the Superhero Squad games? Am I gonna break your heart by telling you he's Ben 10 or Superman in the Legion of Superheroes TV show? Like, am I gonna tell you he voiced that was a different person? But like
Sasuke.
he's voiced. Yeah, he plays Sasuke.
Oh, wow. That explains so much. That explains so much. This is why the Neckbeards like him.
Oh, like, am I gonna break your heart? Cause like Yuri's been doing this for years. Like he did a fucking he did a Legion of Superheroes reunion panel via Zoom for DC Fandom, and he's he's in his like 30s and 40s now. He's been doing this for a long motherfucking time. Like who cares? Like I will say. The only funny meme out of all of this was like the one where Aunt May's dying in the hospital, and she's like, "Let me see my nephew," and then he takes off the mask, and it's a different dude, and he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like that's the only funny meme I've seen in this entire situation. But the fact that you are literally being so stupid to attack game developers for doing what they're paid to do. It's baffling to me.
The saddest thing is that we were here 2 years ago with the fucking Raimi suit. People were making videos harassing them. Mm-hmm. One person in particular who I could name right now, but I will just made video after video saying that they are betraying the fans by not having the Raimi suit. That that they don't understand Spider-Man for not having the Raimi suit, a fucking skin made of.
Spider-Man fans are fucking crazy. They're fucking wild, dog. Like, do you realize that there was a campaign to get a fan group called the Spidey Squad, a fucking like Easter egg in the Spider-Man video game, and then when they got it, and it worked. It fucking worked, and they got the camp the little one of the little backpack emblem things that you could get from going around the city with a Spidey Squad pin, and then after they got the little cameo thing, the entire group disbanded, and it's not one little Neckbeard on YouTube. Like the whole group's dead, and it's so sad that these stupid white boys are this sad. And y'all can come on my Twitter. My Twitter is James C. Porters 3. Come fuck with me, because I don't care. Y'all really think this shit is that serious that you need to attack people? Come fuck with me. I don't care. This is sad.
They know they're sad. They just want validation.
I guess.
Spider-Man Twitter lives and breathes herd mentality. If somebody is loud enough with a hot take, they will repeat that hot take until it is dead. And I could, again, I would name names, but I'm not going to. But some people like fanning and stoking the flames, even though they know exactly what it's gonna do for no reason. And people making claims about, for example, MCU Spider-Man there have been several people who have been like, MCU Spider-Man is morally bad because it teaches us that you have to have a billionaire to be a hero, or some stupid it's gonna teach kids to hate the middle class or some shit. And it's you literally lose all common ground in whatever debate you have about this character, because you're putting yourself on a pedestal by taking a moral high ground and saying, no, this is bad for kids because it's going to teach them to hate the middle class, just because some Tom Holland dude looks up to Robert Downey Jr. in 2 movies.
I would pose them the question of what poor kid doesn't look up to a billionaire, let alone the fact that, Spider-Man, and I'm preaching to the choir when I say this to Alec, is a broke-ass kid from Queens. What?
They don't care. They just say, oh, it's morally bad. And then they're like, okay, nobody attack me now for saying this. Because they don't want criticism for their dumb takes. And it's I don't know. Some people, if they're listening, maybe I'm calling them out. Who knows? I don't care.
Bro, I don't care anymore. Cause y'all done some shitty shit in your day. You come after friends I care about on YouTube. You come after my people. Alec, I don't care anymore. Y'all can come at me. I have been waiting for the day that one of you Spider-Man goons want to come up in my ass, and I will cuss you the fuck out. I don't care anymore. The shit that y'all have done from attacking trans fans of Spider-Man, from attacking the full-on YouTubers who are trying to live their lives. I will bash you on Twitter. I don't care. This is my show. Come at me. That's my word right there.
Spider-Man fans believe that their opinion has to be the right one, both just in term believe that there is a right answer and that they have to be morally right just because they've liked the character since they were kids. Like, bitch, you're not special. We've all liked the character since we were a kid. There's a reason Spider-Man is the most sells the most merchandise in the world and is arguably the most popular character in the world.
I need Spider-Man on a shirt, like Alec dressed as Spider-Man on a shirt saying "Bitch, you're not special." Like that was beautiful. That was
like it's a bunch of white dudes who believe that they are special because they have this hot take on a character that literally several other people have a hot take on. It's like, you are not special, you're not unique. This is like, the sooner you realize that, I mean, I am not special, I'm not unique, I'm not saying I am by saying this. It's just like, you gotta realize that, like, this is a fictional character as much as he means to you, and Peter Parker means a shit ton to me because I would not be who I am without this character existing. But it is a fictional character. These are, as Ben Affleck said in that one movie, fictional characters. I did the hand movement thing he did in the GIF, but like it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like you bashing Brian Intihar on Twitter is not going to magically is not going to have Ben Jordan, Peter Parker start glowing orange like fucking Doctor Who and then regenerate back to John Bubniak. That's not going to happen.
Hold on, real quick. Travis, I want you to go in real quick because I feel like me and Alec are just going to go in. I need you to get your word in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, y'all doing it, man. Because honestly, like, I was actually going to say pretty much exactly what Alec is saying, is that these Spider-Man fans aren't special. Honest to goodness, brass tacks of it, like, I can't. Do they really think that Peter would be appreciative of their behavior? I think that's the tough question here.
I don't think they even think about that. They just assume that, like, because they like Spider-Man, they're in the right.
Oh God, this is one of those things that I feel like. How do I put this? Like they're being Eddie Brock right now before the Venom suit.
God, yeah. No, they're bringing it back. They're being fucking Max Dillon from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Facts.
Yo, I just realized this is like our first ever Marvel-centric episode, and it's fucking hilarious.
It is, because Spider-Man Twitter is just a cesspool of people who believe that if they wish hard enough and scream loud enough, that everything will be how it was in 2004.
Ooh, that was beautiful, Alec.
They believe that if they scream about if they believe that if they type Iron Boy Jr. enough on Twitter, that Tom Holland will keel over and then immediately be replaced by Tobey Maguire, who is back in his prime and definitely not a scheming person at all. Don't read Molly's game, Spider-Man fans, because I hate to break it to you about who Player X is. But if y'all don't know about that, Tobey Maguire was involved in a lot of gambling scandal shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that Molly's game covered that. And like Michael Cera plays who pretty much he was in that situation. But, and like, it's just like, you got to accept that things change. And like, and this is not me saying you have to prefer the new over the old because it's new. God, no. Like, no. It's just like, you got to accept that some things are gone. And like, you're not even, and yeah, no, I mean, there are rumors that we will have a live action Spider-Verse, that maybe Toby and Andrew will come back. I mean, Jamie Foxx is coming back. We have J.K. Simmons. But it's funny because even Spider-Man Twitter, when they brought J.K. Simmons back, they were trying to be like, no, I can't even be excited about that because it's MCU Spider-Man. Like, you got what you wished for, and now you're proving why you shouldn't get what you wish for. It's like,
right.
You can't turn back. Like, believe me, I'm one of those people who like reminisces about better times I had in like 2013 or whatever. Like, I wish I could go back, but I can't, because that's how life is. And just you got to accept that the Raimi movies are done, the Webb movies are done. Even if they bring elements of these back, they're done. Like, we're never going to get a Spider-Man 4. We're never going to get an Amazing Spider-Man 3. And you know what? The day I am proven wrong about that, I will gladly be like, you know what? I was wrong. But you got to accept that things change, not because like they hate you. They didn't change John Bubniak's face because they hate you. Though I wish they did, because I wish they did that because y'all were acting up about the Raimi suit. But like they did it from a programming standpoint. And they explained this perfectly in their blog. They explained it several times, and yet people still keep tweeting at them that they are awful people for replacing a digital mask. And it's just like it.
I mean, look, when I think about it, looking back at the Raimi movies and how, like, thinking about how people are mad about them, like, is it because that Tobey Maguire is painfully too old to play a teenager in those movies?
I don't know. Like, people have rose tinted glasses, I think. Now those movies are good. I love the first movie is my favorite movie of all time. The Spider-Man 2.
Good.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Like the trilogy, I love them. But like you can't just constantly compare everything to the past when the past is, I mean, you can compare into being like X did it better for reasons that are perfectly valid, but like you can't just be like, no, everything was better back then when Hollywood always casted 30-year-olds to play high schoolers.
That's exactly what happened too.
I think while Travis laughs his ass off. Around with the show, folks. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at PGP_podcast. You can follow the website on Twitter and Instagram at OnComicsGround. You can check out the website on the internet comics-ground.com, where all of our reviews, solicitations, and are all people. Travis, do you have a closing statement for this episode of Panel to Panel?
As always, fuck you, neckbeards. You guys ruin fandoms, whole fandoms, which is insane. Secondly, if in light of Spider-Man, if y'all want to get down with me in beating the shit out of Wolverine in Fortnite, my name is Blacksmith92, BLAXMYTH 92, no spaces.
I'm done. I'll hit you up later. But, what's your closing statement for this episode of Panel to Panel?
My day be so fine, then boom, Spider-Man Twitter. Yeah, no, it's like Spider-Man Twitter. I'm excited to see what the Jamie Foxx news brings to light. I'm gonna play the Spider-Man 5 remaster, and I'm gonna love every single morsel of Peter's new face just to stick it to the nerds on Twitter. But if you guys want to listen to the Spider-Man podcast, it's called Livin on the Edge. We should have some new episodes coming out soon. I sent them to James's way, so they should be up soon. The past few episodes have been commentary tracks for all the movies, so if you guys want to tune in and listen to me and my co-host Brian.
Wednesday. What? We'll do Wednesday. I'll schedule my Wednesday.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, if you guys want to listen to those and sync up and watch the movies with our commentary tracks, they're on everywhere you get your podcasts, and they're free, so yay.
You're on Pandora now, that's good shit. I forgot to tell you about that. You're on Pandora now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we're on Pandora now.
Yeah, that's some good shit. And then my closing statement, as always, folks, is that support your local comic book shop when you can. I know COVID's got everyone fucked up right now, even Trump apparently, but I'm not going to talk about that because I'll get banned on Twitter. But But I just can't talk about it there. But you know what? In general, support your local comic book shop. Fuck you, Neckbeards. And we will be back next week where we will be starting a bunch of brand new content. We have some awesome stuff coming up. We have our giant boys, the boys, Amazon's The Boys review coming next week. And then we have an amazing series that we're about to kick off that we are going to premiere on Twitter. Well, at least we'll reveal on Twitter once it gets closer to the reveal time. So get ready for that shit. It's going to be a lot of reading for me and Travis. It's going to be fun. So get ready for that. Actually, no. Well, before we do The Boys, we're going to have Travis's pick for a roast. And it's gonna be horrible. Hey, actually, Alec, you're here. Well, do you want to hear what the next book we're roasting is gonna be?
Oh boy, tell me.
Shadowland.
I don't know what that is.
What?
Okay, then, we might have to have you on. But no, you will be hearing us roast Shadowland. That'll be a fun ass time. You know, it's the worst Daredevil comic you've ever read.
Oh, Daredevil. Okay.
You know, it's the worst Daredevil comic you'll ever read. But no. So the next roast we'll be having coming up in 2 weeks is going to be Shadowland. That'll be a fun time for everybody. So get ready for that fun time. But we are going to go ahead and peace out, folks. So this has been a weird ass Blurred Grounds panel to panel Living on the Edge crossover, and we will catch you folks next time right here at Panel to Panel. Peace out.